Today we're going to speak about a very interesting topic, and the topic is called asset allocation. So a lot of us, when we do our personal financial planning, have heard this word from some or the other source, asset allocation. So let's deeply understand what it means and how can you apply it for your personal portfolio. So when we are saying asset allocation, the primary meaning of asset allocation is you basically divide your investment in different sectors or instruments so that you have a diversified portfolio and get a better return. That's the basic understanding of asset allocation. But when I'm looking at asset allocation in deep, this is what we need to do. Your investment that you're going to do will be based on three major factors. Okay. The first factor would be what is the goal for which you're investing. The goal can be short term or a long term goal. Short term, I would say less than a year. Long term should be more than a year or 2 years for that matter. Okay. Uh, let's take an example. My goal is to have passive income. Okay. Now, this is a long term goal. I don't want to start immediately. I'm already working. So I'm looking at least after 10 or 15 odd years, if I start getting a passive income over and above what I'll be earning, that'll be good. I can then retire, not retire completely on me, but I'll have some passive income with me. So long-term goal, passive income. Okay. Second thing that I have to look at is the time horizon. One is what is the goal. Second, what is the time that I had? Here in this case, I have 15 odd years at least. Okay. The third is what is the risk I'm willing to take on my investment to get there. In my case, I feel I would like to do 15-15. 50% I would like to play safe, 50% I'm okay to take risk on my portfolio. Generally, every person is different. Some people do not like to take risk on their investment. Some people like to take a lot of risk on their investment. It completely depends from an individual how they look at their investment portfolio. There are three types of asset classes. The first one, we call it a safe asset class. The second one, we call it as a medium risk. And the third one, we call it as a high risk asset class. Okay. Let's understand each asset class in depth. The first one, which is the safe asset class, has this 8 features. So we want to talk about these 8 features now. First one, the returns are guaranteed. These I call this as correct returns or equal to repo rate returns. Second one, the safe asset class has risk-free returns or zero risk on the capital to generate returns. So whatever money I'm going to put in, I would want a risk-free return. I don't want to lose my capital at all. So capital negative नहीं जाना चाहिए. Capital should stay as is. And उसके ऊपर जो भी आप return बनाओगे, I'm good with that. So risk-free return or zero risk on the capital. The third point is returns मेरे tax-free होने चाहिए. So I will prefer or I love to have returns which are tax-free, non-tax at all. So tax-free returns, safe asset class, good product then. Okay. Full capital protected return. Capital protected return means my capital which I am investing should not get harmed because the market is going up or down. Should not get harmed because there's a geopolitical tension in the market. My capital is protected from anything and everything. The next one is no monitoring or zero monitoring required given in long term. I don't want to monitor what is happening. So when I'm saying it should not get affected with the market, that also means I don't have to look at my investment again and again and see ki, acha, market is going down. Is my returns getting affected? Acha, this person has got elected now. Is my returns getting affected? Nothing. Policy changes happening. Is my return getting affected? Nothing. In the long term, I don't want my investment to get affected nor by political reason, nor by geopolitical reason, nor by repo rate, nor by anything that is happening in the market. मैंने ये investment किया, this is the kind of return that I'm going to get. It is guaranteed. It is not affected by anything. That is very important, like a safe asset class. Next, complete peace of mind. So if I talk about the parameters what I've spoken earlier, if those are ticked, automatically what you'll have a complete peace of mind. The next point would be correct asset for long-term goals. I say it is a correct asset because when you're thinking of a goal which is long term, which is going to come to your life after a few years, and you want to need that money, that is guaranteed that this money will be required. For example, passive income after I retire, I will require. And I will also know what is the minimum number that I require. That minimum number that I'm going to require, I'm going to get it from my safe asset class so that I am tension free. कि this is the amount that I'll get. That's how you think about it, and that's why I say कि it is a good or the best one when you're talking about the long-term work. A safe asset class works brilliantly over here. Correct as a class of investment for guaranteed events in life. Just now I mentioned that retirement is one of my thing that will come to me with age, if not by choice, because I would love to work. But I would want to have something as passive income, right? So I need a guarantee on that. It can't fluctuate, it can't become maybe. So the minimum amount that is required, if it comes to me and it is guaranteed, it is written down on a bond paper that this money is guaranteed and good to go. So that's what are the characteristics or parameters I would say to understand what is a safe asset class. Let's go to the second one. The second one is with a medium risk. So when you talk about medium risk asset class, these are the 8 parameters that you look at. The first one, you will get up to 5% more returns over the repo rate. I just told you repo rate is like the correct rate of return. So what is happening in the market? So if the repo rate today is 6%, and if I'm getting a return which is close to 7%, I'm getting decent amount of return, because that's also the growth that the repo rate is connected to that. When I'm talking about medium risk, I'm taking some risk on my investment. So you should get up to 5% more than what the repo rate is. Then I say, okay, I'm taking medium risk on my returns. So that's the return that you can expect from a medium risk asset class. Returns are subjected to medium risk affected by economic factors and global risk. So my investment that I'm doing will have some risk from the market. That is why it is growing higher. But it is medium. It is not too high. It's not too low. It is there in between, right? Third one, tax-free or taxable returns. When I'm investing in a medium risk asset class, the instruments that are there, some of them will give you tax-free returns, some of them will give you taxable returns. It's a combination. Investment is partly capital protected. So the investment that I'm doing, it's not 100% capital protected. It is partly capital protected. So there is a chance that the returns, that the capital might go down. Monitoring required on a yearly basis. Because I'm taking a risk on my investment, I need to monitor it, but I don't need to do much of monitoring. But at least once a year, I need to go through the portfolio. That is for my real risk asset class. Little chances of anxiety and stress due to investment failure. So, because now we're talking, the word risk is introduced over here, there are chances that if the market moves up and down, you are going to feel that nervousness and anxiety about my money getting eroded. So, that chances are there. Yes. The asset class can be preferred for medium term goals. Medium term goals can be 3 to 5 year of goal. You can prefer a medium risk asset class over there, because the cycle might go up and down, but your returns can be managed in that point of time. Asset class can be preferred for cash flow or non-guaranteed events. So when I'm doing medium risk, I am going to get returns. I know that for sure. So it is a good asset class, but not for a specific number that you want to achieve. If it is a specific number that you want to achieve, then you don't want to take that risk. But if there is a fluctuation in return, then you're pretty much okay with that. I needed a lakh rupee and 97,000 is what is achieved. You still fine with it. Even if you make 1,10,000 out of it, you're still fine with it. That's medium risk. So that's for a medium term goal, this asset class is perfect. Now let's look at the third one, that is the high risk asset class. These are the 8 characteristics when you look at a high risk asset class. Here, you can expect more than 5% returns over the repo rate. In medium risk, you are up to 5%. High risk, you are expecting at least more than 5% returns than the repo rate. So 12 to 15% is a good return. Generally, I know you will say, okay, Rohit, we get returns on a portfolio which are 20, 25, 30, 40, 50% for that matter. That is sometimes when the market is going up and you are in that journey, you would make that kind of money. But if you take an average of our entire stock market, we are between 12 and 14%. So we are not going too high or too low. It is naturally that when the cycle is going up and you're a part of that cycle, you will make more returns. When the cycle is going down, you will have negative returns. So, but if you average it out in this 12 to 14%, and that is why I'm saying ki with a high risk asset class basket, expecting 5% more returns than the repo rate is ideal. Next point, the returns are subjected to high risk affected by economic factors and global risk. Yes, when you're doing high risk, high return asset class, the returns are bound to change and fluctuate. So that's there. The returns are taxable. So simply in this asset class, the returns, whatever you want to make, they are taxable returns. Next, zero capital protection. Because you're putting the money in high risk, high return SM class, the capital protection here is zero. So your money can fluctuate 100% up, can fluctuate 100% down. Monitoring is required on a frequent basis. High risk, high return means you are taking the risk day in and day out. So monitoring this is more crucial. So it is not once you are monitoring, you have to monitor more often. A monthly monitoring system might be something that you would need for your high risk, high return portfolio. High chances of anxiety and stress due to investment failures. We are looking at investment which are fluctuating with time, which might give us very good returns, wistfully monitoring. It might dip down wistfully monitoring. While you're doing that, it is very natural to feel anxiety and your BP will keep on shooting up and down because you're playing around with money and the risk here is super high. So it is mentioned that high chances of, anxiety is here, right? The asset class can be preferred for medium term and short term goals. Generally, what I say is where the volatility is too high, you are generally going in with a lot of money there. If you're going with 2,000 rupees and your money is doubling and you're making 4,000 out of it, it is not going to change your life at all. But if you've put in like 5 lakh rupees and that is going to become 10 lakhs in a shorter duration of 4 years or 5 years, it'll make sense. So generally it helps you change your lifestyle. And that is what you should look at when you're investing in a high risk, high return product. And it is not to have small amounts cash in, cash out day out, because that is not going to make you wealthy. It's going to make you rich for that particular day or that month for that matter, but the money will come down again. So it doesn't make sense at all. So invest in such asset classes for your short or medium term goals where that money is going to really impact and change your lifestyle. Okay. The last point here is asset class has got potential to generate high returns, which can help change in lifestyle. I just mentioned this point, and that's what a high risk, high return asset class should do for you in a portfolio.